Hi. It started on a Wednesday, one of those midweek evenings that feels heavier than a Monday. You know the kind. Dishes in the sink, emails unanswered, silence stretched thin between two people who used to talk until midnight about nothing and everything. She walked in late, again, hair slightly undone in that careless, chic way that always made me pause. She smelled like vanilla and city streets and something expensive I didn't recognize. Work ran over, she said, setting her purse down without looking at me. I nodded from the couch, laptop on my thighs, spreadsheets open, pretending to still care about quarterly reports. All good, I muttered. That's when I saw it, a necklace. Subtle, delicate, gold chain with a teardrop-shaped sapphire pendant. Not flashy, but not cheap either. New. Nice, I said, tapping a key to keep the screen alive. That necklace. I haven't seen that one before. She hesitated. Just for a breath, but long enough. Oh yeah? One of the guys at work gave it to me. Said it was for helping with the Q3 presentations. Kind of a gag gift. I nodded again, slower this time. Bit much for a gag. She smiled. Tight, rehearsed. You know tech guys? They think anything from a mall jeweler is high fashion. And that was that. At least, that's how she wanted it to be. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. We'd been married 6 years by then. We'd made it through 2 layoffs, 3 apartments, a miscarriage, and a pandemic. I knew her laugh, her coffee order, the way her voice softened when she was proud of me but didn't want to admit it. I thought I knew her. But something sat wrong. Not the necklace itself, not even her story, really, but the way she didn't meet my eyes when she told it. Like she was handing me a receipt and hoping I wouldn't check the total. That night, she turned over in bed away from me. I lay there staring at the ceiling, counting the shadows as they stretched across the plaster. A few weeks passed. The necklace stayed. She wore it to dinner with friends, to brunch, to meetings. Always touching it. Always adjusting it like it meant something more than office banter. And then came the party. Her company's holiday thing. Early December, rooftop venue, string lights, overpriced finger food. She was radiant, of course. Laughing with coworkers. Dancing just enough to draw attention, but never looked desperate. I hung by the bar mostly, sipping a Coke, watching. That's when I saw him. Tall, clean cut, a little too polished. Suit that fit like it was tailored yesterday. He walked up behind her while she was talking to another woman, reached out, and adjusted the chain around her neck. It was so casual, so practiced. She didn't flinch. She just smiled up at him, and he said something I couldn't hear. She laughed, a little too long. Then he walked away like he'd done it 100 times. I don't remember the rest of that night. I shook hands, made small talk, pretended I wasn't unraveling inside. I told myself to let it go, that I was being jealous, paranoid, insecure, all the things she used to accuse me of when I questioned why her phone never left her hand anymore. But the next morning, something shifted. He came by the house. Not inside, just dropped her off. I watched from the upstairs window. She leaned in through the passenger side and said something. He grinned. Then she jogged to the door like a teenager coming home after curfew. She didn't know I was home early. She didn't know I saw. And I didn't say anything. Not then. Instead, I waited. I watched. You can learn a lot in silence. It's a kind of patience I didn't know I had until that winter. Every smile she gave him, every casual mention of his name, every time she tucked that necklace beneath her blouse like it was sacred, I took note. One afternoon, I made an excuse to swing by her office. Brought her coffee, said I was in the area. She looked surprised. Nervous, even. While she was out grabbing napkins, I met him. Andrew, right? I asked, extending my hand. He looked confused. Yeah, you're? Her husband, I said, smiling too wide. Something passed between us. A flicker. Recognition? Guilt? Or maybe just ego. He recovered fast. She talks about you, he said. I bet. He chuckled. No, really. Always says how supportive you are. That she couldn't do any of this without you. I wanted to punch him. Instead, I nodded. Good to hear. She came back then, all brightness and overcompensation. I didn't stay long. That night, I dreamed about the necklace. I dreamed it tightened around her neck like a noose. I know how that sounds. The breaking point came 2 weeks later, the night of our anniversary. She forgot. No card. No dinner. Just a text at 7:43 p.m. Don't wait up. Big pitch tomorrow. Late night rehearsals. So I waited. And waited. Until midnight. Then I left. Not far. just to the 24-hour diner down on 5th where we used to eat when we were broke and happy. I sat in the same booth, ordered her usual, and stared at the empty seat across from me. On the way home, I stopped for gas. That's where it happened. He was there, alone, pumping gas into a sleek black sedan. Same guy, same smug face. He didn't see me at first, but I saw his wallet. He'd left it on top of the pump. I should have walked away. I know that. I should have handed it to him, gone home, gone to bed, kept playing dumb like I had for months. But I didn't. I grabbed it, and what I found inside changed everything. It was just a slip of paper, folded twice. A receipt. Blue velvet box. Sapphire pendant. Purchased 3 months ago. Store logo printed clear as day. Her birthday. His credit card. She lied. And that night, they both lost more than jewelry. I wish I could say I marched home with fire in my chest and kicked open the door with some righteous fury, but the truth is quieter. Truth doesn't always arrive with a shout. Sometimes, it slips in beside you like a ghost and whispers in your ear until you can't ignore it anymore. I sat in my car for nearly an hour outside that gas station. The receipt crumpled in my fist, wallet returned without a word. Left on the pump just as he turned his back. He never saw me. Or if he did, he didn't recognize me. Maybe he'd never really seen me at all. But I saw everything now. The way she laughed more at her phone than at anything I said. The way she slipped into silence when I mentioned future plans. How she turned her body slightly away from me at night, like she was halfway gone already. The necklace wasn't just a lie. It was proof. It was real. It had a date, a store, a price. It existed outside of feelings and doubt. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't imagining things. I'd been made into a fool. And she'd let me. When I walked back through our front door, the house smelled like her shampoo. Her shoes were by the stairs, coat draped carelessly on the arm of the couch. She was upstairs, shower running, humming. That same old song she played when she wanted to relax, like the night was any other. I didn't say anything. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at her nightstand, the same one where she kept the necklace, nestled in a velvet box like it was some sacred relic. She emerged in a towel, steam trailing her like a veil. She smiled when she saw me. "You're still up," she said, like I was just a doting husband. I nodded. "Yeah, couldn't sleep." She moved to the dresser, drying her hair with one hand. "Big pitch tomorrow. Wish me luck." I didn't. Instead, I asked, "You remember what day it is?" She froze, towel still in her hand. Then came the smile again. "Of course I do. Happy anniversary. I was going to surprise you this weekend. Just, things have been hectic." I stood, walked past her to the dresser, and picked up the necklace box. Held it in my hand, thumb brushing over the gold hinge. "This was the surprise?" I asked. She turned, confused. "What? This necklace? Was this supposed to be my gift to you?" She blinked. "It was from Andrew, I told you. As a joke, for the pitch." I nodded slowly, then pulled the receipt from my back pocket. Folded, unfolded, dropped it on the bed. She didn't move at first, just stared at it like it was radioactive. Then, slowly, she picked it up. Silence. "I found his wallet at the gas station," I said quietly. "He left it on the pump. This was inside." She didn't deny it, didn't gasp, didn't cry. She just sighed. And that sigh? It was louder than any scream. I sat down again, suddenly so tired. My whole body heavy with months of pretending not to notice, not to feel, not to fall apart. "You could have just told me," I said. "You could have said you weren't happy, that you wanted something else, someone else." She sat on the other side of the bed, careful not to touch me. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she said. "He was just there." I felt seen. I laughed, not bitterly, just sad. "I've been here the whole time," I said. "I've seen every version of you, even the ones you try to hide." She looked at me, really looked this time. "Why didn't you say anything sooner?" she asked. "Why let it get this far?" I stared at her a long moment. "Because I was hoping I was wrong," I said. "And maybe, I wanted to give you a chance to tell the truth." She looked down at the receipt again. It trembled slightly in her hand. "I don't love him," she said. "I know," I replied. "But you gave him what used to be mine. We didn't sleep that night. We didn't even fight." She stayed in the guest room. I stayed in our bed. And in the morning, she made coffee like she always did, humming again. But this time, it was a different tune. Something off-key. We didn't talk for 3 days. On the 4th, I packed a bag. When she saw me by the door, She didn't stop me. Just stood there in her robe, hands wrapped around a mug like it might anchor her. "Where will you go?" she asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. "But somewhere I can hear myself think." She nodded, bit her lip. "I never wanted to hurt you." "I know," I said. "But you did anyway." And with that, I left. The necklace was still on her nightstand. But what she didn't know, what neither of them knew, was that I'd made a copy of the receipt, and that I hadn't just found the price. I'd found the store. I'd found the surveillance. And they were both on camera, smiling, arm in arm. The sale wasn't the only thing recorded that day. That necklace cost more than money. It cost trust. And they were both about to find out what it cost to lose me. 3 weeks after I left, a small padded envelope arrived at her office. No return address. Just her name in block letters and a single word etched beneath it: closure. Inside, there was a USB drive and nothing else. I don't know how long she stared at it before plugging it in. I can only imagine her heart racing, her hands trembling just slightly. Curiosity and dread, the twin emotions that come when you realize the person you once shared your life with isn't playing dumb anymore. The video was from a jewelry store's security feed. Clean, time-stamped, high definition. She walked in first. Him behind her, arm around her waist like it belonged there. They laughed, pointed at the case. She tried on the necklace. The same one she told me was a gag gift. He leaned down, kissed her shoulder while the clerk wrapped it up. She looked happy. That was the hardest part to watch when I first saw it. Not the betrayal, not even the lie. It was the ease of it. The comfort. The absence of guilt. That necklace was a celebration of something. Something I was never invited to. I sent the same drive to Andrew's office. No note. Just the footage. I wanted him to understand one thing. This wasn't a secret anymore. I had been silent too long. I didn't burn down her life. I didn't go public, didn't scream on social media, didn't ruin careers. That wasn't my way, but I let her know I could. And that was enough. After the footage, she tried to reach out. A long email, full of words like mistake and confused, and I was lonely. I didn't respond. Then a letter. Handwritten. Pages of it. She said she missed me. That the affair ended. That she realized too late what she'd done. Still, I said nothing. Because I had already started building a life that didn't orbit around her gravity anymore. Funny thing is, in the months that followed, I didn't feel anger the way I thought I would. I felt grief. Like mourning someone who was still alive. I missed the version of her I married. The way she used to curl up beside me and ask about my dreams like they mattered. But I knew now, some of that was real. And some of it was just beautiful acting. I moved into a loft across town. Sparse furniture. Big windows. Quiet. For the first time in years, I had space to breathe. And I started going to the bookstore again. The one we used to visit before she got too busy for paperbacks and Sunday mornings. One day, I ran into a woman in the philosophy aisle. She dropped a book. I picked it up. We started talking. Not about pain. Not about betrayal. Just about Kierkegaard and why everyone forgets to be honest with themselves before they try to be honest with others. Her name was Nora. Kind eyes. No pretense. She didn't wear jewelry. Meanwhile, word got around. Her office knew. Not the details, but enough. People talk. Trust erodes. Andrew transferred. She started working remote. Eventually left the company. She never got the necklace appraised. Never sold it. Because some things don't hold value once the illusion breaks. Last I heard, she moved back to her sister's place for a while. Tried therapy. Tried yoga. Tried to write a blog about reinvention after heartbreak. I hope it helped her. I really do. But here's the thing. When someone gives you something with lies wrapped around it, it doesn't matter how shiny it looks. That necklace? It wasn't just gold and stone. It was a monument to everything I wasn't told. And when I left, I didn't take anything from her. I just made sure she finally saw the truth. She lost more than jewelry that night. She lost me. And the man I became after her? He doesn't wear blinders. He doesn't pretend. He walks through the world quieter, maybe a little sadder, but sure of one thing. Real love doesn't come with receipts tucked in someone else's wallet. It comes with honesty. And once it's gone, no sparkle can cover the silence it leaves behind. Bye-bye.